It's couscous Mediterranean style today in the sartorial kitchen. I'm starting off with breakfast. It's pearl couscous cooked with milk, butter, garnished with craisins and a drizzle of honey. Then I'm making a couscous salad with fresh herbs, feta, peas, and a lemon Dijon vinaigrette. And last but not least, chicken meatballs with a pan dripping sauce. So why don't you pull up a chair and dine with me?
Welcome back, everybody. You are just in time to join me for breakfast. So yes, we're doing couscous today. And I thought it would be fun to do something different, like a little breakfast preparation. So I thought that's exactly what I would do. So I've got the pearl couscous, and it's going to cook up kind of like a oatmeal, or like a pudding. So I'm starting with a half a cup of milk and 3/4 cup of water for one package. And I also want a little butter here. About a tablespoon or so. And then we're just going to let that kind of come up, not boiling, but just where it starts to steep a little bit, and we will air it. Okay, this has come to a nice simmer. We're just going to throw in our couscous. So this is one package of the pearl couscous, which is, they say servings about a 4th cup, and there's 3 servings, so I just kind of follow instructions in the box, but I replace some of the liquid with the milk. And I also want to season this baby up, so we're going to throw in a pinch of salt. Salt is very important. And savory as well, sweet dishes, because it brings out the natural flavor of everything else. And then throw in some cinnamon here. A teaspoon and a half. A 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Nutmeg's very strong, so we won't use quite as much as it. And just give it a nice little stir to make sure nothing's sticking. And then that's going to go for about 10 minutes or so, just until it pumps up and absorbs all that liquid. And then we'll be ready to enjoy. Come in here again. It's important to stir it. As you can see, this is wanting to stick to the bottom, which is no good, but you can see how couscous is nice and plump now. So just a couple of things I want to add to this. I have got some cream raisins here. And they're probably golden raisins would probably be more traditional for this preparation. But I happen to have some cream raisins on me. Just a nice little handful. I throw them in towards the end so they get nice and plump. And if this sticks too much, you can always add a little more milk. I actually like it to be a little on the milky side, because it's almost kind of like a cereal. And just kind of stir that in. Beautiful. Oh yeah, that looks good. I think we just need a bowl. Alright, let's take this off the heat. And I'm just going to pour it right into my bowl here. So good. A nice hearty breakfast. It's better for you. And it's going to fill you up. It's nice and carb rich. Now I like to add just a splash of milk. A little more butter. I like to stir it in. And a little drizzle of honey just to give it some sweetness. This is an overly sweet dessert, or an overly sweet breakfast. It's kind of like a savory. And there we have it, our breakfast couscous. Guys, let's dig in. So just come in here and just kind of stir that butter in. It's nice and fresh. And it's good and hot, so you may want to boil on it a little first. So good. So the butter makes it nice and rich. You get the texture of the pearls. Just a hint of the cinnamon and the nutmeg. really complement each other. And the craisins, they get nice and plump and juicy. And of course, breakfast too. Nice and thick and back. And delicious. Well, that was a delicious and filling breakfast, but now it's time for our entree. I'm doing a couscous salad with chicken meatballs and a nice little lemon sauce. So we're going to start with the meatballs here. Got some fresh herbs out. I love adding a lot of freshness to meatballs. They can be a little heavy, so it's nice to have different things. I've got dill. I've got some parsley. Let's start with the meat. I've got some ground chicken here. I'm trying to stay Greek, Mediterranean. You could do lamb too if you want it. I'm just going to plop that whole thing in. And then I went ahead and pre-chopped an onion. I went about half a cup. Should be pretty good. We'll save the rest for our sauce later. And then I'll start chopping up my dill. So what I do is I take the dill and pull the stems apart. We don't want the stems in our meatballs. We just want the little dill fronds. And some of this is going to go in the meatball. Some of it's going to be for our little salad that I'm making. And we just come in here with our knife. And I just give it a rough chop. Make sure it's a nice sharp knife so you really get all the way through here. And I just take my knife, just back and forth. We're just kind of mincing here. I want nice little pieces here. Make sure we get it all off the stem because it kind of likes to bunch together. All right, that looks good. We're going to throw in about a tablespoon. We'll save some for the salad. I won't use it all. I may save some for garnish. And then with our parsley, it's kind of the same idea. You just run the leaves off the stem. And then again, we just kind of come through with our knife. And just give everything a nice rough chop, just to kind of break it up. Beautiful. And we'll throw in, again, a couple tablespoons. The rest will be for our salad. Okay, now for the good stuff here. I've got some garlic. This is my minced preserved garlic. I'll do about a tablespoon. I want this to have lots of flavor. And get some of that garlic oil. Beautiful. Some lemon. And I'm just going to roll this lemon out first to release some of those juices. And then we will start zesting that right in here. Just zest it lightly. Make sure you don't get down into the pith. That's where it's really bitter. And that's just going to really lighten this up. Really give it a nice freshness. Cut through some of the fat of the chicken. Just about half this lemon, I think, will be good. And watch for stragglers. It's going to go right in. And we are not just zesting the lemon, we are also going to juice it. I want about the juice of half this lemon. Lemon and chicken are like peas and carrots. And lemon's like one of my favorite things. And the lemon is going to give the chicken a nice zing. It's also going to help tenderize the chicken so it's nice and moist for us. And then some seasonings here. I've got some salt. Got a couple teaspoons of salt. And about a teaspoon of black pepper. Sounds like a lot, but chicken is naturally bland and it needs all the help it can get. And then I've also got some oregano here. This is dried oregano. I like to use the dried as compared to the fresh. I think the fresh is just a little too strong. And I just kind of rub the oregano through my fingers just to kind of release those oils. And this is just going to give it a nice flavor. Then just a couple more things here. Some breadcrumbs, about a half cup. That's going to stretch this out and help bind everything together. And an egg. And I'm just careful with the egg. I like to crack it separately in case I get a bad one. And then I can watch for eggshells. And then I'll just kind of give it a little whisk before I throw it in so it's easier to incorporate. Beautiful. And just pour that right over top. And we are ready to start making our meatballs. And I'm careful, just kind of folding everything over itself. I don't want to overwork this, otherwise I'm going to get really tough, chewy meatballs. And I want nice, light, soft, moist meatballs. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's start frying these babies up. All right, so the water is boiling for my couscous. I'm going to go ahead and throw that on. Does not take long at all. So that's just, I followed the instructions on the box. So it's a cup and a half of water, a little bit of olive oil and salt. And the thing about couscous, it's actually a pasta. People think it's a grain like a rice or something. And it does kind of cook like a rice, but it's actually a pasta. It's tiny little, like pasta pellets. Now we're going to throw that in. And this doesn't take long at all once it's boiling. I'm going to come in here with a spoon and just stir this up so it's all incorporated. Make sure none of it's sticking. And literally just a couple minutes. And then we take off the heat. And we're going to put a lid on it. This guy here, and just set a little lid on that for about 5 minutes, and then you can come in with a knife and we'll kind of fluff it up. But now I think I am ready to start frying our meatballs. I'm just going to take a little scoop here, doesn't have to be an exact scoop, and just kind of roll these babies up and just set it right in there. I love using a scoop because then I know these are all going to come out roughly the same size. It's good for presentation. Also, we know that they're going to cook evenly together if they're all the same size. And I just kind of roll them a little bit, just so I can kind of get the shape I want. This is a mixture of vegetable oil and a little bit of olive oil for flavor. And I've just got it on a medium heat. I don't want these too hot. Otherwise, they're going to get too done on the outside before they're fully cooked on the inside. I'm just going to set that down. And then again. And I may have to do 2 batches. I don't want to overcrowd my skillet, because otherwise these are going to steam instead of fry up. And I want them to have a nice kind of crispy texture to them. Alright, that should be good. A few minutes on each side, and I'll turn them over with some tongs. And then we can start prepping the filling for our salad. And like I mentioned with the couscous, literally like 5 minutes or so. And then you just come in here like you would with rice, and you just fluff it up. Just make sure it's not sticking together. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead and start prepping our salad. So I've got another lemon here. While that couscous is still hot, I'm going to zest some of this lemon into it. There's something about lemon zest, when it hits the heat, it just becomes so fragrant. I wish you guys could smell right now. This kitchen just smells lovely, like a lemon grove. And the meatballs too, they've got that lemon in it. So good, beautiful. Again, watch for stragglers. And just kind of stir that in. I've also got some frozen peas here. I like the frozen because they're already cooked, and literally they just have to come to temp. And I just want about a cup, which is half this container. And I'm going to fluff that into this couscous as well, because the couscous, it's nice and hot. So it's going to defrost these peas almost immediately. And they're going to add a nice color, nice textural component to our dish. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. Nice and crisp. Golden brown. Let's turn them over here. Gorgeous. Okay, now the lemon. Slice this baby in half. This time I'm using a whole lemon, so we'll take the rest of our lemon half from earlier. And this is just a vinaigrette that I'm making for our couscous salad. So I'm going to do the vinaigrette, and then I'm also going to do a sauce for the meatballs with our pan drippings. We'll take that, and then we'll take, whoops! We'll take the rest of our lemon here. And it's a pretty big lemon, but we're going to get a good amount of juice out of here. Oh, so I love having this. Makes it so much easier. And then to that, we're going to have some Dijon mustard. Good Dijon, not that yellow stadium mustard. A couple tablespoons there. A little more of my garlic. About a half teaspoon. And get some of that oil again. Love it. Some honey. A couple tablespoons of honey for some sweetness. And then my secret weapon, this is balsamic, white balsamic. So I was at a little craft fair the other day, and they had local vendors, and I got some olive oil, some gourmet olive oil, some gourmet syrup, and I got this white balsamic. And I love the white balsamic. It's lighter than your traditional balsamic, which is like dark and heavy and kind of rich. And I love this because it's going to add just the right amount of acidity without being too heavy. And it doesn't change the color of our dressing. And I'm adding just a couple tablespoons of that. Gorgeous. And then, of course, a little salt. A little pepper. And stir it up. All right, that starts to break down. Now I'm going to drizzle in some olive oil here as I stir this up. It's about equal parts lemon juice, olive oil. So I think we're going to do almost a half cup here. And you'll notice when it starts to come together. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. All right, we're going to take our couscous and our peas, and I'm going to dump it right into this bowl. And just get in here. Some of the couscous, this is why we fluff it up. It likes to stick to the bottom here. No, thank you. So get it all out. That's why we use a fork here, so I can get all this scraped up and into our salad. That's great. And actually, I think I'll save my fork. You see how those peas have gotten nice and tender now? Beautiful. So a couple more things. Some more of our dill. And some more of our parsley. Pretty much the rest of it. Gorgeous. Pour that in. And then I've also got some feta. What's a salad without cheese? And I got the whole feta. I didn't want the crumbles because I thought they would fall apart in a salad, so I wanted the whole feta so I could make sure we had nice big chunks. Gonna add a nice kind of salt component. Feta's great because it's like adding salt without adding salt. It has a nice tanginess to it. It's gonna play nicely with the lemon. And just right on the same cutting board, I mean, it's gonna get some of the herbs on it. They're already in the salad, so who cares? And we'll just start cutting nice little wedges here. And we'll turn it over on its side, we get sticks. And then we'll use it up. Nice little about half-inch pieces. Just come here and cut up the rest of this. I'm adding it last because I really, feta's kind of a delicate cheese. And I don't want it falling apart on our salad. So I'm going to make sure it's nice. It stays nice, big chunks. And we're going to come in here with our vinaigrette. I'm only going to pour about half of it in first. Just to see if I need the whole vinaigrette or not. I don't want to overdress it, so it's enough. Dressing that it's nice and flavorful without like swimming in sauce. Okay, I think we can go ahead and toss the rest of that in. Gorgeous. And I think we'll switch back to our spoon for this. Just stir all that in. Beautiful. And then we'll throw in our feta. And then the feta I'm just going to lightly toss in here. Just so it picks up that vinaigrette and it's incorporated with the couscous. And I would say that is a pretty gorgeous salad. Now let's put our meatballs here. These guys should be ready to come out. I've got a tray here that I've lined with some paper towel, want to grease. And we're taking the ones from the outside for the most time. And then we've got a few more meatballs to throw in. Alright, so I want to check these guys here. Find one of the biggest pieces. You stick your thermometer in the middle. Just so we get an accurate reading here. Gorgeous. Oh, absolutely. Alright, we're going to pull these guys out. They're nice and golden. And then you'll see that we have all these lovely little brown bits left in the pan. Well, that is just flavor waiting to happen. So we're going to take the rest of our onions here from earlier. We're going to throw those in our skillet. And these are minced really good so they shouldn't take too long. You just come in here, stir those around, and the onions are going to release some of their juices. And that's going to loosen up all these brown bits in the skillet here. And already they're starting to look nice and golden. All those onions look beautiful. I'm going to come in here with some more of my garlic. About a tablespoon. Some more of my garlic oil. I always wait to do that because the garlic will burn. There isn't much to it and it's nice like that. You saute that so it becomes nice and fragrant. You'll start to smell it when it starts to brown just a little. Just a tinge of brown is what I want. And got some white cooking wine here. And I want a couple tablespoons of that. And a good squeeze of our lemon here. Get a couple tablespoons out of that. I don't think this has any seeds in it, so we can just do it by hand. Beautiful. Once it's reduced a little bit, you can add some butter, a couple tablespoons. And then that butter is going to melt down into the sauce. And it's just going to become a nice little luscious marriage of all of these flavors. The pan drippings from the chicken, the white wine, the cooking wine, the lemon, which you want to let cook down since it's not so assertive. And then I just kind of take it down to a low and let this butter slowly reduce. Everything together, and we'll have a lovely little sauce for our chicken. So I think we'll start with our salad. And I just kind of pile it up in the middle. I want to make sure I get a little bit of everything. Gorgeous. Ah, so good. And then we'll grab some of our chicken here. And if you want it, you can kind of skewer this and do kebabs for like a little better presentation. But I think we'll do 4. That's a good portion. And then I'll come in here and grab some of the sauce and just ladle it over top of the chicken. Oh, doesn't that look great? A nice little Mediterranean kind of meal. Oh, so good. Let's move that. And grab a fork and give us a little taste. Alrighty, guys, tell me that does not look amazing. Alright, I think we'll start with our salad. I just want to get a little bit of everything here. It's nice and fragrant. I love the cous because it has a little fun little texture to it. And the peas are nice and fresh and kind of burnt open. You get all those herbs. The feta gives it a nice little salty component. So good. Now the meatballs. Ooh. And I cut into it. You can see it's nice and moist. You get all those layers. Nice and soft and tender. But you got that crunch on the outside. You have a little bit of texture from the onion. You get the lemon. Just lightens everything up. All those fresh herbs. And that reduction on top. That's a chef's kiss. Oh, so good. Well, thank you guys for joining me in the kitchen. As always. Please like and subscribe. Comment section. And as always,